Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for having me, to IMARC and the sponsors and Southern Cross. We've got 10 minutes here to tell you why this is such a great story, perhaps a little bit why it's done so well, but importantly, why it's still got so much more to go. We're talking about a gold discovery called Sunday Creek down in Victoria. It's listed on the TSX and on the ASX, so we've got some reach across a lot of capital markets. This is a key discovery. If you want to measure it from a drill hole point of view, we've got 9 rigs there. We've got a 200-kilometre drill program ongoing at the moment. But if you want to just measure it in terms of drill stats, there's nothing better globally. We've got 70 100-gram metre intersections from about 100 kilometres of drilling. That rate of intersection of really good holes you won't see in any other project, at least I haven't been able to. So there's a hell of a lot of gold there. There's a lot more around that now as we're starting to go into a pre-development phase as we continue the exploration, but it's a very good metric to know you're onto something pretty special. 200 kilometre drill program, 9 rigs, like I said, going to 10, and then we'll be going to 22 rigs, which will be the largest drill out in Australia by mid next year when we have a decline completed. We're very well cashed up to execute on these plans, and I'll go into them in just in a bit more detail shortly. We've got 150 million in the bank to bring all that drilling, decline development and those economic studies and the regional exploration to the table. We've got a lot of our future in our hands because we bought 10 properties, nearly 3,500 acres over the project and kilometres to the south. So it gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of developing this project. If we're sitting down having a beer, and it's a bit early, but if we were to do that and you said, why is this project done well? Why, you've got a share price that's going up? I'd say, well, it's a very good project, probably one of the better gold discoveries globally, but it doesn't happen without a share register that supports the business and a business that's very much focused on per share metrics. So every decision we make in this company is thinking about how can we make that share price higher. It's easy enough to build $1 billion company. It's much harder to do it if you need a share price to increase at the same time. And these shareholders are very supportive. There's some of the best names there that if you can see those font behind me. Pierre Lassonde, probably the best investor globally. He founded Franco-Nevada, the world's largest gold or a royalty company. He ran Newmont, the world's largest gold company, and he's got some peers there beside him, Darren Morcom and Kirill Sokolov, as well as a number of institutions. Quarter of the stock is held institutionally, but you need that shareholder base. This project has been ranked as one of the better discoveries. These are the best gold discoveries in the last 10 years by Richard Schoddy in Australia, as named there, as plus some other discoveries. So it's got that recognition. It certainly is a key project. And for those of you who don't know, this is how this has been built. My timer's not on to the back audio there, so I'm running a bit blind in terms of my time, or it's unlimited. The project has been created through the drill string over the last 3 years, essentially. This is what it would look like when we came to it. About 1.2 kilometres here we're looking at. It is a 10-kilometre long system, but we've just put this 100 kilometres, predominantly 99% into this core area. And here's the drill holes, intersections. Just look for the 50 and 100, greater than 100 grams, so the red and the pink. And we're going down to a kilometre. These systems get better at depth, and that's what we are able to do because we came in on the back of Fosterville, the highest grade gold mine on earth. Many people don't know it, especially in Melbourne, that 100 and so kilometres from Melbourne, the highest grade gold mine on earth over the last 10 years was Fosterville. It was the lowest ASIC. It brought $10 billion of market cap appreciation, and we found another one. And what happened at Fosterville is what's happening here. It gets so much better at depth. So go deep into these deposits. So when we listed on the ASX, it looks something like this slide here. A few pink hits down there at a few 100 metres depth, but nothing too much to suggest to what was to come. Then we went on and we drilled a big hole in late 22, lots of 300 metres at 5 grams, lots of high-grade structures. And that's what gave the market, gave us the hope something was special. Over the next year we drilled it out and certainly found a lot of pink dots there that you can see, and the hope was somewhat substantiated. Then it was our challenge to build it out, and here we are in March 25, so earlier this year, and this is where we put an exploration target around about 80 kilometres of drilling into there. It's drill constrained, but not all close enough to put into a resource, and our range is 2.2 to 3.2 million ounces at 8.3 to 10.6 grams. So this is a multi-million ounce 10-gram deposit. 20% of the value comes from antimony. Everyone's heard of antimony now. We used to joke that it was the most critical metal you'd never heard of. Now everybody knows about it. This is a top 3 global antimony, ex-China, Russia deposit, so it will be a big part of building out that antimony supply chain. Now here's a very technical slide, the same look at what we were looking at before, that same section. But what I want you to focus on is as it goes from blue to the red. It's a ratio of arsenic over antimony. You don't have to really get into the detail with 4 minutes left. But that when it goes red, it means the antimony is dropping off, and in that red zone you get the very highest grades. And that's where we're seeing the very highest grades in our deposit as it transitions for the geos amongst us from brittle to semi-brittle, going towards the ductile space. So this is the very better part of the system, and this is where we're just starting to touch it. We've obviously drilled it more here, but you can see in these adjacent areas we're just starting to get into what arguably could be the better parts of the body. So even though this is one of the better discoveries globally, maybe we're just at the start. And that's substantiated by the drill data. Now if we look at it at another scale, here's that square that I was just looking at, where I was talking to just before. We are putting some holes down here. There's one of those holes down at 1,500 metres to show the system continues, another 500 metres below all that drilling. And here's the old mines that we drilled underneath. Not that clever. We drilled under some old mines that nobody had looked at with that new geological understanding that had come out of Fosterville. And look at this, there's 9 kilometres of old mines. We put about 2.5 kilometres of drilling. Hit gold about half a metre at half an ounce is the best result so far, but there's so much more to do in that blue area. So we know that the adjacent mine, Fosterville, is drilling around about 2 kilometres, so the system should continue. And as you can see, we're just starting to see the better parts in that red box, and we've got a lot of room to move. You always want to see room to move in these projects. The project is only 60 kilometres from Melbourne, very different outcomes. If you want a job where you'll be home every night with the kids in the mining business, no better spot to be. In terms of Fosterville, it's 100 kilometres, and here's Costerfield, the Western world's largest antimony producer today, at 60 kilometres from us. This is the lay of the land, just to give you a bit of a brief look. The drill area that I've just been talking to is out through, if I can get this turned around, out through here. You can see some of the drill rigs out through here. Of course, you can see we've got some neighbours. There's about a dozen of them to the north through here. We have this hill that covers us from here, but it's to the south that's the key point, that we've got all this ground. So that's looking south, and that's all our land holding essentially, as far as you can see, where we can develop this project into. The program's pretty well set. I've talked to you about it. 200 kilometres of drilling, that's 60 million Aussie. We've got a decline, 30 million Aussie, going through final permitting. We hope to have a decision by year end on that. The Victorian government, most people think it's a basket case, but it's actually the best place by the stats to permit a gold mine in Australia today. And I see laughing because you don't believe it, but it's permitted 4 mines in the last 6 months. So it is actually, no other jurisdiction's done that. They've got a lot of incentive to bring regional development and jobs, and critical metals, of course, has changed the way a lot of governments think about our business. Regional exploration, $20 million still there into that blue hatched area. A lot of work to go through that area, as I pointed out, and first economic studies after that big drill out will come in early 27. Metallurgically, with 30 seconds left, it's a simple flow sheet, something we've got very similar to Costerfield down the road, gravity and flotation. So to finish up, It's a very rare global asset, a top 3 antimony project, but it's the gold, 80%, that will drive the value in this project. Not many multi-million ounce 10-gram deposits out there, and this is one, and it's growing a lot of exploration upside. Victoria, surprisingly to some and me too, is very, very much open for business, and we found ourselves in a very good moment in time, and that team and shareholder base that is uber focused on value creation per share. So I thank you very much, and we've just got our booth over there if you'd like to come and talk to us. Thank you.